Love. A lot of people will tell you a lot. It is like this, it is like that. This is right, this is wrong. But love, nobody can tell you how you are, what you are. Nobody can tell you what is possible, what is not. You know, everybody has been through what you are going through. We all had lots of questions. All of us had to figure it out ourselves. People describe to me what a river has been, what it is, what it can be. But you know, it's not even fragment of it. When you sit near a stream, it has the power to melt all inside you. When you dip your feet and take a bath, it will freeze all inside you. The infinity of nature can't be told. The infinity of life can't be told. This is my heart to you, my love to you. Let's share my slice of life with you. The beauty I see in a flowing river with you. The answers I found of all the questions of life. All the love, beauty, peace I found in life. I am trying to share all that with you. A lot of people will tell you what life is, how it should be lived. According to me, nobody can tell you what your definition of life should be. A flower's definition of life is to blossom. A river's definition is to flow. A sun's definition is to shine. Find out what you are. Life is both the journey and destination of finding yourself. The only thing one needs to live is honesty. Honesty to yourself. When your heart when your heart won't be tied down by nets of contradictions. It will bloom and the fragrance of love will spread. You must have realized by now that it's not the most opted option to doubt yourself. To start with, I don't know requires lots of courage. The biggest mountain to climb is inside. Honesty means and defines the only way to move. A river honest to itself flows like the most beautiful being. To someone calculating life in numbers, it might be dangerous or tamed, but it is what it is. It is indifferent, and that indifference or the ability to be unbiased can only be based on honesty. Life can only be known in experience. One should explore whatever it is. Life is both the destination and the journey. One can get lost if one is too focused on the end, and one can get lost if one is stagnant. Move, but don't force. Act with open mind of what can happen. Nothing lasts in life. So sacrificing present for future has no end. When there is sunny day, When there is sunny day, if one wish for rain, and when it is raining, if one wishes for sun, then one can never be happy, content. None of these words have power without experience. So you should experience it yourself. Words like all creation of thought are limited, limited by the mind who means them. All of these words are remains. It's not the substance. Human existence has revealed around the substance. There is a possibility of life if one stops trying so hard. The force applied to live coming out of desire for permanence in a world which is fleeting produces friction. It's not to doubt this moment to live, it's to doubt this desire of perfect control. Think about it. We constantly find problems, challenges to entertain ourselves. If there is some real problem, one doesn't need to find it. It will eventually find you. There are so many layers of desire on the core. The only way to experience is to let it go. One is flying a kite. It requires constant pulling and pushing. Will the kite fly if one doesn't do the efforts? The only way to answer is to let it go. Have you seen a bird just flying? It only flaps when necessary. Then it just steadies itself relative to wind and it flies even when stationary. If thought or thinking is leaving, then we should let the thought loose and see where it goes. The movement of thought is infinite. What is finite is the control. Control of where it should go and where it shouldn't. If life is exploration, then by no way it can be realized by control. Human memory, human history, the intelligence, the knowledge, the story, it's only useful and meaningful to a human. Only human intelligence can make sense of it. It's the shared experience of everything. That is what you are. Don't get stuck in the weight of the past. It's your choice of what sense you make out of it. It feels like past was paved by sure. It feels like past was paved by a handful, but that is just a biased way of looking at it. Think about it. Do you know the name of human who learned to walk, who learned how to start fire, who learned how to swim, who learned cooking, farming, who tested everything to find out what is edible? Now tell me, will any of the history makers will even survive without this? Existence is not defined just by a billionaire, by a powerful. It is equally defined by the poor, by the powerless. When we acknowledge that even the flapping of wing by a butterfly has the capability to change the entire world, why is then there is a hierarchy in the value of life? In defining which life is more important and which is not? From where does this self-centered and corrupt view of life came from? Have you realized by now that our entire existence is borrowed from the past? If one realizes this, the ego of I own this, I have done this, will melt away by itself. One will become humble, thankful for everything that is there. Humble to both what human thought has produced and to all that is outside of human thought. The real value of anything is realized when one removes the glass of judgment and see for oneself. Have you realized by now that all of these words stop at some point? All of these are ways one can approach life. One can start from anywhere, walk any path, as long as there is honesty and one keep walking. It will reach where these words are pointed at. You know the world that everyone exists in is actually a limited personal world. It allows one to define one's own definition of life, but that can go the other way too. If one exists in one's own world, then there can be conflict, there can be loneliness. The power to interpret life with a sense of ego, of arrogance, certainty results in friction with others who have their own sphere of life. I can see it clearly. So let me try if it can be communicated clearly here. So there is a diagram with I at the center. One's own world lies in reflection of the entire collection. Someone who has never flown in an aeroplane still has some concept about flying. It's what an aeroplane and flying means to them. Maybe they think of it in terms of how a bird flies. Somebody who has read about aerodynamics and the science behind it will look at it in a completely different manner. And then someone who has actually flown through one will see it as completely different. The same things means different to everyone based on their lives, what they have collected. The image of what is external comes from what is inside. If we have reached here, understood it at least logically, then we can go on to the next part of the problem with human existence. We can't live in isolation, and when we have to interact with anyone else, we go by the only guidance available to us, that is the sense of world in one's own mind, the limited sense which one has collected. It's an impossible task. So, to make some order in it, we created systems. Systems of language, of morality, religion, science, constitution, law, and order. All these systems are inherently based on one simple objective to create order. Like I am writing now, and the reader is getting a perception of meaning. This interaction or sharing or communication is done through the framework of language. If one actually look deeply into it, then one will realize that even with all of these frameworks, one can never tell what the other has understood. I have used the power or the intelligence of all of these frameworks. Still, I have no idea what you are getting from it. Now, if one understands this, like really understand it, then the framework will open. Framework will only be used as a help or with some doubt. With some doubt. Some doubt is required, while reading it. So it stops you there. One will never ever give the absolute status to any framework, whether it is science or religion. But do you observe what is happening now? There is no place left for doubt now. And that's where human suffering lies. In this desire to be absolute, to be completely certain. That's the root of ego, of right and wrong. Where everyone is different, different way of understanding life, and everyone is 100% certain that their perspective, their understanding is the right one. Combine that with the fact that we have to live together. Now everyone wants to prove they are right and other is wrong. Having doubt is considered as weak, and anything weak and vulnerable will be removed by force. Do you understand now the reason of all human suffering? This is what I have understood in my own limited capabilities. So much of what I am sharing depends on words which in themselves are limited, and even the words come from limited experience. Still, I am trying, based on feeling of love. What if this makes sense to even one person? And the conflict, the fight, the comparison is reduced by a little bit. Why do I keep coming back to love? Because it is the only way to really share. What is named love is the state of openness. I am sharing all of these words, but they are all useless. I don't know anything special. The only thing I know, and that also just for myself, is that it can't be known. There is no absolute meaning. It pains me to see people putting themselves down because they don't know a language. They are not educated enough, they are not tall enough, not fair enough. The various ways I am finding are ways by which you again arrive at the conclusion that there is no absolute. Everything is a story. The entire human history is a story. The entire history of my existence is also a story. The story is playing in one's own mind. Love is the most beautiful way a human can exist.
What people say the highest form of consciousness is not intelligence or memory usage, it is the state of love. The highest form of one is to stop putting your efforts on it. Natural way of being is the highest form of being, and one doesn't need to apply any effort if it is natural. This was the letter which is a part of the beautiful place to get lost. हर हर महादेवी.
ये जो था, this is part of the beautiful place to get lost. This was the original, basically the copies which I wrote in this one. So I was reading from this one only, and we'll print the limited like 1,000 copies of this in this format only. And to book that version, you can go to the website. The link we will give, Shri.Foundation. Then also you can go and search the beautiful place to get lost book. इसका हिंदी में भी ब्यूटीफुल प्लेस टू गेट लॉस्ट का हिंदी वाला वर्जन भी डालेंगे. वो देखना पड़ेगा ऐसा कैसे करें, क्योंकि वो लिखी वैसे गई है. लाइक या तो फिर कुछ और तरीके से करेंगे. लाइक इसके अलग अलग वर्जन में देखते हैं पहला रिस्पॉन्स कैसे आता है इसका. And they will be consecrated copies basically. We'll print all of them and we'll consecrate them personally. And in each copy we'll write a personal message, which will be unique to that book only. So that information won't be there in any other book. So जाओ वेबसाइट पे जाओ और रीऑर्डर करो और अरे महादेवी.